sit here. You read this article. You love liberty. You hate the control. Welcome to your nightmare. I have warned you that I was murdered. The truth is that I came from a place these things passed. Things you couldn't imagine. Police brutality. People's faces being sprayed with dangerous chemicals that burn your eyes, skin. Dogs ripping people's faces apart. A bloody truth filled with guns, weapons, fear, and emptiness. It was on every street corner, in every cracked den, in all city streets, in the backs of the country roads, in the valleys, and even 6 feet under. The impact could be felt miles away before it even occurred. Deep down, I know you feel the truth. You can't keep running from your fears. The control that grips you. Will you let it steer you? Or will you take control? I did it. Here I am, writing this to you from the past, future. Okay. I'm just gonna make this short, guys, since I know this is a bit pre-recorded, but yeah, since you saw my intro and the previously video where I said about what goes on, but yeah, you might gonna try to know this is why I say this is for entertainment purpose, but YouTube, you understand the point, it is for entertainment purpose. So I'm just gonna show you what goes on here, because look at this. About what's going on with censorship, here's one of the masterminds, which basically what he wants to do with it. Just give it a listen.
That's that when I talk about 50-year issues that we've lost because we didn't have the right framing. That's one of them. And you know, our view is we've got to have a culture that values babies and the life that's created and is focused on the birth rates and makes them a positive good as opposed to a burden. And so, you know, we're always looking for what's the immediate fight leverage point that we can win and win a debate that allows us the next fight to get more of the win than we could have. For instance, right now we came up with an idea on pornography to make it so that the porn companies bear the liability for the underage use as opposed to the person who visits the website getting to just certify that I'm 18. And we've got a number of states that are passing this, and you know what happens is the porn company then.
And I know the point he wants to try to do is the age verification situation, because this is kind of a bit of an invasion of personal privacy, and I will talk about that in the next part of the clip of the video. Just continue on.
And says we're not going to do business in your state, which of course is entirely what we were after, right? So we're doing it from the back door. We're starting with the kids, and then like we'd have a national ban on pornography if we could, right? So like we would have, you know, the porn companies being investigated for all manner of human rights abuses. So that's how we approach a problem, and life is no different. We're looking for, you know, if we lose elections on this, then we don't have the ability to save babies. We don't have the ability to save life.
Okay, as I'm saying, but I know this is no big shocker about this, because he's just using the children as a scapegoat. In a way, they just want to try to do is ban pornography and try to make up some lies. And you know, guys, he just want to force like people like us to have babies. But like, I'm gonna be clear, I'm gonna say this: you can't ban something that's so cold. Like, let's say this, you can't ban a material that causes a problem. You have to find what causes the root of the problem. Instead of blaming on corn, how about try to basically find the real problem? Maybe, let's say, the economy, which we know why. The gender wars. Yeah, because we know this is not our issue. Why? Since it's a long lore. Why? Because I will talk about how the gender wars happen in the next part of the video. Because there's a lot to talk about. So, and also, the other thing I'm gonna say is morally the poor natural education. I could say because it happens in high schools and colleges. Because look, if this whole situation has to do with teens, well, okay, I know parents shouldn't be letting their kids watching that, but teenagers are a bit of a situation you had to be aware about. Because, look, I seen how teens are, to be honest, and I know how I was as a teen. I know how teens are, in a way, because look, it's basically like when we're all teenagers. Look, we've been doing stuff like this, but the main problem is it's the parents' fault. Because the thing is, they already taught their kids the birds and the bees. And I say before with like the about the lack of sexual education, it needs to start going in high schools and colleges. Cause look, there are some people who never experienced that type of stuff on the internet. Look, I'm just saying they should start. They need to just have a mandatory sexual education course to just understand the whole situation before anything. Cause it's a lot to explain. But even though if it's like high school, it has to depend on the consent of the parent. Because look, if they're under 18, okay. But if they're over 18, they have their choice. So that's the point. But with I'm not sure about middle schools, but I stay straight away from elementary schools because I know middle schools like is basically a gray area if you know it's under parent consent in a situation. But yeah, so let's get on to the other part of the topic, why you need to change a lot of stuff. So we'll see you in the next clip. Alright, as I said this before, let me make the mic. Yeah. Alright, now let's say this. Since I know I don't like to get a little too distracted on my videos, but I can say this, people. As much as I say about the gender war problem going on, yeah, cause I don't want to go too much detail to say this, but when you look through those videos and other content when they're talking about the gender war, it has to do with the whole men versus woman thing. Like, as I said from the other video when I got tired of the left versus right, I'm getting tired of the man versus woman situation because you gotta think about this, cause the thing is, blaming men for what they didn't do, they think they did, instead of holding, let's say, responsibility to himself, is one thing. It's the same thing with women, in with blaming women for what they did that most women never do. It's like I had to tell you this in a situation that this whole gender war situation happened because like it happened after the third wave feminism. That's how everything went all bad, to be honest, because they went a little more mixed negative, I could say, because like the this next positive we're trying to do is they want to enjoy what they like and they don't like to be controlled by, let's say, how the Puritans telling them what to do in their lives and all this stuff. But I'm gonna be real here. Let's say this in the situation as a whole, and in this whole situation with how the in the cell guys, the black pill guys, the manosphere, they're the ones who they got involved with the situation. They blaming them for not having a girlfriend, not getting a wife because they want Chad, they want Chad. I had to break news to you that like, look, They don't know. They think all women are the same. Oh wait. Okay, let me tell you one thing. How you think all women are the same? That there are women who are into fat guys, because look, fat guys gives a lot of warmth to them. Huh? I was asking you that. What about their like how Ricky got a girlfriend in the first place, or there's a lot of questions I asked to these women hating folks here about the situation. Besides, with all the situation when I am gonna ask questions to the man hating folks here, cause like I'm just saying, why are you blaming men for things they didn't do? Like not all men are not the same, not all women are the same either. So what's if like look, we're all different. We're not like binary numbers or we're not like robots or anything. Okay, I'm just saying because this whole situation, this whole gender war nonsense, it really needs to end because I'm tired of this in a situation that I'm like, look, as much as I know you heard from my podcast and all the stuff that let's say this, I was in past relationships, which I don't want to talk too much about it because, which I just want to forget too much about my past relationships because, look, let's say this. It didn't work out very well because, like, for personal reasons, but I don't want to explain why. But the thing is, I moved on from it because, look, let's say this in the situation that, in my regards, that if you're like in high school, didn't have a chance to get a girlfriend and all this stuff, and you got into this whole cold situation, like, man, and same thing to women out there who were in high school and you didn't got a boyfriend. Well, yeah. How would you feel about that? I'm just asking y'all. You know? I'm just saying because to this point, I'm getting to the point that I'm trying to basically trying to grow out of this nonsense because to the point is basically want to try to get out of the problem because the thing is think about it. Do you want to get out of the problem? Okay, instead of blaming the opposite gender, like blaming women for one thing, blaming men for one thing, how about try to look at yourself and think what made you to be, let's say, wrong in the first place? Because I'm not saying like, yeah, like, what holding you? Like, what is holding you? What is actually holding you? Because for me, depression's been holding me a lot for like all those years. Because, the reason why I was depressed for the past couple of years because I wasn't able to get a job or anything. Because I realized, look, it has to do with my past relationship. But I said before, it didn't work out well. But, I don't want to talk too much about it. But, I have moved on from it because think about this in a sense that, like, look, I didn't date anyone for a long time because, look, I've been into a mental struggle myself because the thing is, let me tell you this in a situation. Have you all have been in a mental struggle yourself because you have been dumped or your relationship didn't work out very well and you just broke up with this person? Just like how I did, like I broke up with the person, which it didn't work out very well, cause believe me, I you might had the same situation I was, but some of you who got into like a really deep emotional situation, like my God, have you ever seen a therapist or anything? I'm just saying. So yeah, there's a lot of situations where this gender war happened, and I know this whole Gamergate, Anita Sarkeesian not stuff going on, but recently now, Anita kind of learned the hard way and try and join our side because She didn't want games censored, and the thing is, she just wanted to get the money for the grift. But I get it. But the thing is, look, I don't really trust her, but I understand she knows she made her mistake to enable collective shout and all this stuff. Cause look, all this craziness going on. But like, the thing is, it takes a lot of time to build up to get to gain her to gain a lot of people's trust back again. Because to be honest, trust is a thing that most people want to believe. Because look, as much as I say with Anita and all this like radical feminist stuff, like the third wave and the fourth wave, yeah, it went to a bad route. How it is, same thing. How the in the cell, the black pill guys, the whole situation, yeah. Since I said in my last video, I'm against the black pillars because the thing is, the black pillars, they're the ones to try and make you try and make you to submit to what they are. And I'm just saying because in this video, it's all in a situation that I'm saying because look, I'm here to try to help you guys mentally, but now well, we know about the situation of the gender war, but how do we end gender war? Well, we need to think about something how we get ended because there needs to be some sort of peace between men and women, to be honest. Like, as we know, more men and women are getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of it. And how do we have the peace between this gender war? How do we end it? That's the point and part of the video. And the thing is, as we know about this whole gender war situation, these radical feminists, I say, like the sex negative in a situation, like in my regards, I gotta say this that they're pushing to this age verification system because here's the thing, they're sided with these crazy religious fanatics who wants to get rid of corn and and they want to control the behavior of men and women because they don't like to get let's say get a little too lewd, to be honest. And honestly, look, they shouldn't be controlling men and women in a way like how they want to believe because the thing is, and forcing them to have babies, it's not gonna happen. The only thing it would happen if, let's say this, if they're a married couple, yes, it is, or if it's like an accidental situation, but yet they're forced to be married after the child's born, say, sorry about how my speech is, I know a lot of stuff. So, other said things and done, because I know, as I said, people need to learn a lot of things in happening, because in a situation like, as I said, there's need to be a peace between both men and women, to be honest. In my regards, just like there needs to be peace between both the left and the right. And also, as much as I moved on from the gender wars, well, I said about the poor sex education happening in high schools and colleges because the thing is, as I said before from the clip earlier when I said the thing is, I say it has to do with depends on the content of parents. It's if it's like in high school, but sex ed in middle school, it's hard to explain, and I stay away from elementary because let's say this, these kids don't know very well like when they're young, but I don't know how it will work well because I rather keep it like sex ed in high school and that, but I understand the point. But even though people will learn sex ed in other ways, like in Catholic schools or in one of these programs that you gonna end up having. Let's say that if you're in one of those religious programs that you're gonna have a communion or something like that, they kind of teach you sex ed in a way in like in churches and something like that. You understand, but yeah, you get the point, people. Cause I was like this, to be honest. Like when I've been, got exposed to this sex ed situation back in, let's say, in middle school when I was trying to get like my first communion and my confirmation. They kind of taught me a bit about sex ed and situation. Then high school happened. Yeah, they taught me not much, but the thing is, let's say this: the religious one makes a kind of sense in a way because I understand how they did, but with the how the high school education system goes, well, I see what goes on here, but they never like let's say like show the actual corn in the high school because if you are showing corn in high school, that's how sex ed you understand how it works. As it's sex ed. Oh, sorry about how I say sex ed because I'm trying to avoid the censors and all this stuff. But and the thing is, look, the sexual education, I could say, well, and as I know, because it depends on the consent of parents. Because as well, they need to realize, look, if they're okay to know to let their child know about this, yeah. If they're not okay about it, and like from someone, they could tell them to like directly, and I'm gonna say this: if I ever have kids, like at some point, man, I'm just gonna say this: like when they're into a certain age, when they're getting into puberty, I am gonna do my best to be, the best father as I am. But right now, I'm trying to become the best uncle as I am for my niece because the thing is, when she gets older, she will understand. My older sister is gonna be the best mom. She will understand. My brother-in-law will understand as well. Cause look, I'm trying to learn how to take care of a child correctly. Cause I've been taking care of my little sister when she was like small. And now same thing with my niece. Because, there's a lot of things that people don't really understand things in life about, the whole situation. But yet, they need to, let's say this, improve, you know, sexual education, sexual education a little better in a way like when they're, let's say this, when they're in puberty. Yeah, that's what happened in high school. Most high school has puberty situation, but I'm not sure about religion situation. But yeah, I think mostly high school need to know about this. And if even if they're in college, like a legal adult, I'm just gonna say this: they would need to. It's gonna be mandatory for adults, like who are over the age of 18, needs to basically have a mandatory SMEX ed class. Cause the thing is, they will understand a lot of things, and you will know the truth. But yeah, as much I'm done with that segment, so we all know that. But I'm just saying, but I don't tell too much detail what goes on. But the last segment is the economy, because we all know about it. Everybody knows about it. Yeah, the economy needs to be fixed in a way, but like it's too much to explain what goes on. But let me say, I'm no financial expert, but I'm just saying, just back up whatever you get, your wealth in case of anything happens. Like, look, it could be gold, crypto, anything that's worth of money could be a bit of an insurance in a way, in case of, like, let's say how the economic collapse a lot, but not sure about Pokemon cards or any trading cards, but well, it depends. So just be aware about a lot of things happening. If just to secure wealth. I'm just saying because you all need to secure your wealth in a way that you don't want like all this crazy stuff happens. Cause like for me, I've been securing my wealth for years since I've been doing the hard I've been knowing this the hard way, but it is, but it's still I have a bit of financial issues myself since trying to get back my wealth, and also pay back to my artists and as much as I say, because my new VTuber model needs to be, let's say they need to be paid off, and not just only my new VTuber model needs to be paid off. I have my other VTuber model on the way, but I will show you a little bit of a preview, a bit of it. Like I think it's already done. So the true form because I will talk more about it in another video, but yeah, since much as I say, because of, we all have money struggles, like we have bills to pay, whatever, but look, just learn a lot of things happen from other people that how you like basically try to invest crypto, gold, physical gold and silver, whatever ways you can to protect your wealth. To be honest, that's the main point. Just protect your wealth as you can. So, I'm as much as I'm done with all this whole 3 segment situation, but I am gonna be talking a bit of a light of news of of our Lord and Savior, like say not Lord and Savior, but like I know God knows about that joke a lot, but like let's say our God Emperor Orange Man Trump, okay, since he kind of signed the bill, which we all know things are getting good now since no debanking happening because based on political beliefs and religious beliefs. Because I would agree, but like in a way that for Americans to do that, but for other countries they need to have their financial freedoms as well. So they shouldn't be debanked for whatever religious purposes or political purposes, like I say. Because the thing is, as much as I say, people are not getting tired of a bit of a lot of these crazy politics and crazy religious nonsense. Because the thing is, look, like I said before, God knows what's happened, but like I don't want to go too religious myself, but let's say spiritually, like we know God in a way, because God knows very well, but in many ways. But that's all said and done. But what what I can do, nothing much here. But yeah, that's a bit of the end of the rant video. But we all need to do something about this. But still, as much as I know August, as much as I know if like we need to do things, right now at the moment that we need to act fast to prevent laws like this as usual. Just call your politicians, call corporations, and all, the whole deal. Just like to fight against censorship because, as I said before, this is like stopping people all over again. And a lot of these companies need to be on the crackdown who are, also doing anti-consumer practice and all this stuff. You get the point. So I'm just here talking in this video. So see ya.